Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. Today I have a book review of This is How to Lose the Time War. This is co-wrote by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone. It was published in 2019. It's in the genre of sci-fi, but it's unlike anything I've ever read. Sci-fi is always kind of out there, whether it's concise sci-fi or it's more thought-provoking sci-fi. This is more thought-provoking science, dabbling in science fiction to the point of almost lyrical poetic. And I've never read anything like this, to be honest with you. So I do not feel like I will get into spoilers whatsoever in this video because and you'll see why. But the premise of this book is two factions that are at war with each other over time and space. And their champions, their assassins, their creme de la creme people the agents that they put on missions are red and blue. That's the names they go by. And at first they start corresponding through letter, and it's jeering, I'm going to win, you're not going to win, and jesting. And then it becomes a matter of appreciation as time goes by. And then it becomes almost admiration, and then it goes into love. And so, is it a love story? I think so, in a way. But it's very vague. And that's really the premise of this book. It's very vague. It's very thought-provoking and emotion-provoking for you. So basically, they are at war, and they're jumping from different, what they call strands, throughout time and space. And so there's points of view where they're, in the Jurassic period with dinosaurs. There's points of view that they're on Earth after in the year 3000. There's points of view when they're in World War I. And so their jobs are both to go do and undo what others have done. In terms of, Red may go and assassinate someone to try to rewrite the course of events that happen in this kind of universe or this Earth. And it's very thought-provoking in the sense. It doesn't get real hung up, though, on what it is they're really doing. It's more about the correspondence back and forth. And so they start corresponding through letter, and then it becomes they have to hide as their correspondence becomes more of, I'm going to kill you, you're going to kill me, or I'm going to win, you're going to win, and it becomes more admiration. Are they failing their government, their faction? You have the commandment faction, you have the garden faction. And so that becomes very try to read and find out type thing. So in terms of what I enjoyed about this, I really started this book and I was 50 pages in. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have the basic what, when, how, why type questions, and I felt like maybe I was going to DNF this book. But I got to the point where I was so captivated by the writing. It's lyrical, poetic, emotion, thought-provoking, and just kind of out there that it had my curiosity, and the more I got into it, the more I had to read and find out. And so it really sucked me in. I liked the open ending of the ending. I liked how things are not very spelled out. Again, I liked the prose very much so. And I liked the point of views of back and forth between red and blue. And I liked how subtly over the course of the 200 pages in the book, you kind of learn a little bit of backstory about the factions and why, but not to the point where you feel like, even after you finish, like, I don't really understand what ended up happening. And so, is that a turnoff? I don't think so. I think it is. It's one of those things that it is what it is, and it's very good for what it is. I think if you ask 10 people their thoughts of what this book is about, you'll get 10 different answers, no matter how recent they've read it. So I thought that's an interesting for a book. In terms of excerpts, I could have picked a ton of excerpts here. There is one that I got from their diary. Blue is writing red, and it said, "Red wrote too much too fast. Her pen had a heart inside, and the nib was a wound in a vein. She stained the page with herself. She sometimes forgets what she wrote, save that it was true, and that writing hurt." And I thought that was really good. It's not something I see in most of what I read. And another one was, no death sticks, but the one that matters. And I thought that really jumped off the page at me when I was reading this. In terms of dislikes, I don't really have any dislikes because I think this is so unique that it's hard for me to dislike it because I feel like I'm still processing it, to be honest with you. So in terms of rating, I give this a 4.2. It is not my favorite book. It is not a bad book. Even saying that I was close to DNFing it at first, and the fact that I continued was I was so curious to read and find out, doesn't really dissuade me from the fact that this is a good book. So I give it a 4.2. I enjoyed it. It was very thought-provoking. It's unlike anything I've ever read. And so, do I recommend it? Probably not for everyone, honestly. If you're needing, outline and knowing though who, what, when, or why, and how, if you need all those things spelled out for you, even to some degree to where you don't feel lost, this is definitely not the book for you. If you are more into matter-of-fact writing style, straight to the point, definitely not the book for you. There was a lot of big words that I had to Google a few. I was like, well, just to understand. And so it's up to you whether, take it for what it's worth. But that's a review. This is How to Lose the Time More. I give this a 4.2 out of 5. Definitely the most unique book I've read in quite some time, if not ever. So hope you're having a great Wednesday. Definitely more content will be coming. Hope you have a great week.